So, good morning. After a slight false start and a bit of a few technical issues, we're going to start this again. So, the last time I did this about 20 minutes ago was very brief. So, hopefully, this time around you get a lot more information than you did the last time. That's for sure. So today I'm going to talk about the full moon lunar eclipse, which is happening on the 8th of November. It's in Taurus and it's at 16 degrees of Taurus. So have a look at where that is in your chart. Now, for those of us in Australia, it's at 10:02 p.m. in Sydney, which means for those of us in Perth that it's actually at 1:02 a.m. on the 9th of November because of the time difference. So just important to know that there is a bit of a time diff depending on where we are in this particular world. So as you can see from this chart looks pretty busy because there's a lot going on at the moment. So eclipses are always powerful times of change, transition, and this is a full moon lunar eclipse. So this is about transitions and endings, things coming to an end, things, finishing off, going deeply into this, and basically ending some things, which is really, really positive as such. Now, one of the things I just want to start with first off is that this full moon eclipse is in Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So this is being affected. A few days ago, we had the Venetian star on the 22nd or 23rd of October coming in, and so there is a lot of Venusian energy around, which is really wanting us to bring harmony and balance into our world. This lunar eclipse is happening. A lot of the energy is here in Taurus and in Scorpio, directly opposite. Now, these are fixed signs, which means that they want stability, they want things to be calm, they don't like a lot of change, a lot of fluidity. So it's really, really important that we're also aware of that as well. So these are going to be times that we're going to actually, we're going to be looking at those things. Now, one of the things that we need to, there are a few things we need to look at. So just so we're aware, when we have a full moon is in 16 of Taurus here, it is always opposite the sun, 16 degrees of Scorpio. Now, one of the things also happening with this is that at the moment, we have the lunar nodes. We have the North Node, which is our way forward in Taurus at 13 degrees. So it's very, very close to this moon. And in fact, our South Node, which is about our past, our karma, etc., in 13 degrees of Scorpio. Now, the nodes will be in Taurus and Scorpio until the 30th of June next year when they move into Aries and Libra. So this full moon is actually really activating those two areas as well. So, a North Node is our way forward, where we're moving to, where we're going. And it's in Taurus. So let's talk about Taurus. So Taurus is a yin sign. It's a feminine sign. It's ruled by Venus. It rules money, values, it's essential pleasures. It can trigger our talents. Look at our habits, our skills. It's also about the voice and it's about music. And it also can see very much when we're activating this, as in this moon, those things are very much being activated at this particular point in time. So that's really, really important. So there are a number of planets up here next to the moon. One of those is the North Node, so that's in Taurus. So that's about creating that new Earth, looking forward in terms of what values, what we want in terms of our security, because this axis between Taurus and Scorpio is very much about the axis of security. So Taurus is very much about our material security, money, possessions, our values, things that make us feel secure. Scorpio digs much deeper because it wants us to be secure in terms of our unconscious fears, our subconscious issues. It's about relationships and connections with others. It's about our own control. So in a sense, these are two aspects of ourselves that we're actually looking at this particular time, and they're very much being highlighted in this particular moon, which is very, very important. And it's also time with that conjunction with the North Node for us to move forward and grow in terms of our values, in terms of our what we want, our foundations, because Taurus is very much about foundations, finding our stability, how we're managing things and what's meaningful in our life. and really and truly becoming very, very stable and settled within our core of who we are, because the moon is emotional. So this is about our emotional core. So really becoming stable and secure in terms of who we are and what we're needing to do. Now, this full moon is right next door to Uranus. Now, Uranus is the great disruptor, okay? When Uranus comes in, it breaks this free. It wakes us up. It transitions. It basically, helps us see through the illusion, what needs to be dismantled, what we need, how do we need to be free. It brings in a lot of different, like it brings in diversity, lots of differences. So Uranus is it's like the wrecking ball in a sense. So it really and truly, likes to break things up. So again, it's in Taurus, so it's around those ideas and values, possessions, what we felt that we needed in terms of our material security. And it's really, really asking us to cut through what is it that we no longer need, and what patterns do we no longer need as well. Now, it's actually it's actually here. Obviously, it is exactly opposite the Sun in Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Pluto is the great transformer. It asks us to go really, really deep. It asks us to go into our, depths of ourselves, our psychology, our subconscious, our fears, our addictions, the things maybe within ourselves, the dark stuff, and our trauma as well. It also asks us about the power and control we give to other people as well. So Scorpio is a very yang energy. So it's ruled by Mars, and it's very, very masculine as such. So we've got the Sun, we've got obviously got the Sun, Venus, and Mercury in there. So there's a great deal, and the South Node. So we're really digging deep to look at what is it that we really need to let go of. What do we need to do in terms of what do we want to communicate? What do we want to communicate within ourselves and to other people? What is really and truly communicating to us? Because with that Mercury in Scorpio, it could be that other parts of ourselves, like our subconscious, could also be, communicating with us through dreams, etc. as well. And looking at really deeply at what are the hidden things that are having power and control over us, including old traumas, old, unconscious beliefs, all of those. So this new moon is really bringing those things to a head, which is actually really, really, really important. And so that becomes, a major issue for us at this particular point in time. So it could also be looking at our patterns, where are we in balance, and that includes imbalance within ourselves as well. And what are we projecting onto other people in terms of our relationships? And what is it that, where is it that our fears and traumas are running the show in a sense? It also, because Scorpio is about power and control, also asking us to very much look at ourselves in terms of, are we presenting with that dark, deep, traumatic energy, perhaps as a victim? Where are we victimizing ourselves? Are we presenting ourselves as the rescuer, someone who wants to go out and heal other people? Or are we actually presenting ourselves as the perpetrator, the one who acts out of fear and disrespect? And that can be within ourselves as well. And I suppose in that sense, with that trauma, we need to actually come into balance with all of that, because we're none of those things. We're all of those things. And we can all come from those places at times where we feel victimized, or we feel like, people are doing things to us. We feel like we need to rescue other people in a sense, or we feel that we're acting just, out of, whatever negative space we're acting, and then we're harming other people in that process. So we're coming to balance, not only in our relationships at this particular time, but also within ourselves, where we're doing that to ourselves. And what we need to do is we need to do a lot of healing, and we need to step back and actually take on that observer position, so that we find that inner peace, that inner quiet, that sense that allows us to actually step into more of who we are and let go of some of the past, which is really, really important, because this is a full moon. It's about endings. So it really is about letting go of those things, looking at where we've progressed and moved forward, where we've changed, what we've done, that we don't actually need to do this anymore. Now, one of the things that is happening at this time is that the moon and the sun in Scorpio and Taurus are actually forming what we call a T-square with Saturn. So Saturn is up here in Aquarius. And so Saturn is bringing us into that Aquarian energy. So Saturn wants to bring in order. It wants to bring in structure. it wants to help us be free, and it's allowing us to be free from all of these things around the different ideas and views we have, around what brings us security and what makes us secure within ourselves. Because what makes us secure within ourselves is being deep in our own core, reflecting, coming from our heart space. It's not all these external things, including relationships and money and all those sorts of things. So Saturn is really, really saying, get yourself sorted out. Set your goals now, make plans, bring in the structure and the things that you need. And because it's in Aquarius, it's bringing us into that Aquarian energy, and it's asking us to step into that divine timing. And that Aquarian energy is very much about bringing forward communication and relationships with other people. How are we connecting with our community and other people, our spiritual self, as well, and in ourselves that authentic place that makes us who we are. Now, the other thing that really, brings forward, which is very powerful at this time, is that Venus here, and we're talking about the fact that this full moon is very much ruled by Venus, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. We have Venus down here in Scorpio, and it's forming a supportive aspect to Pluto. And Pluto is the great transformer. It's like the wrecking ball up here in Capricorn. Do you know what I mean? So Pluto is strengthening us. She knows what she needs. She knows what changes have to happen, and she's helping us make those changes within our heart, because it's about Venus. So Pluto is really coming in here and really helping us, and in Capricorn, really put together structures and solidity, and helping us to really step into more of that heart space. And with Capricorn, she's bringing in, here, Saturn in Aquarius up here, they're really bringing forward that structure and that stability and that routine that helps us now achieve our goals. And the goals in the areas we're really needing to look at is where are we in terms of our, our own sense of self, our own personal security. What do we need now? What is it that we can get rid of? And what do we no longer need to be holding? So we can step into more authentically ourselves and who we need to be and where we need to be doing. And we can do this not only in terms of our own individual self, but in co-creating with other people as we step into that Aquarian age, finding like-minded, awakened people who will help us, co-create, new ways of being, and particularly with a strong emphasis on Venus, new ways of being in relationship, new ways of finding balance, new ways of finding harmony, both within ourselves, within our relationships, with the environment, and within our community, and within the globe overall. So this is a very, very powerful time, a time of great change, helping us really shake things up, reevaluate, and look very much at our core in terms of what do we value and what is really, really key for us moving forward. So I hope that helps you today. So wishing you all lots of love and light. Bye for now.